Hi everyone, I'm Maimah Karmo and you're watching Breathe TV, a safe space to come to exhale as you navigate your breast cancer journey. We're talking today about the importance of taking all the toxins out of our lives. Toxins in the environment, ones that are emotional, physical. Toxins come in different shapes, sizes, and forms. It could be in the form of disease, it could be in the form of things you're putting on your skin or in your body, it could be in people, energy. There's so much we have to deal with as a person than as a patient that for me, meditation and practicing breath became really important to me. Hence the TV show being called Breathe. In the spirit of breathing, I want to ask all of our viewers to join me in a moment of meditation that's guided to get us settled and grounded. I'm going to ask you all to put your hand on your heart or on your belly, wherever it's more comfortable, and close your eyes and repeat after me. I embody love. I embody light. I embody peace. I am grounded. My breath is calm. I am present to life. I am safe. So today I have two amazing advocates with me, Kimberly Baltimore and Yahira Torres. They're both powerful women and have powerful, strong, inspirational stories. Yahira, can you share with the viewers your breast cancer journey, when you were diagnosed and just what your story is about?
Yeah, I was diagnosed September 2020 during the pandemic. I had found my lump. I was just feeling around, felt it, and I made an appointment to my doctor's, and he was like, I don't think it's anything, you're young, but I'll send you go get a mammogram just in case. So I went and got a mammogram, did the biopsy, and in fact it was IDC, invasive ductal carcinoma. At that point I didn't know a stage. They decided to do genetic testing because I had no family history and was positive for the BRCA2 gene, and that helped me with the decision of getting a double mastectomy. So I did a double mastectomy December 2020, and then that came back with one positive lymph node. I went through 16 rounds of chemo, and then I had 2 infections, which I had removed the expanders on both sides, so I had 2 different surgeries, and then finally had radiation this past December 2021. So I finished treatment this past year, and now I'm just on tamoxifen and waiting to heal in order to get reconstruction.
How are you feeling now?
I feel okay. It's harder mentally afterwards than it was during. During it was like you're on a fight mode. So you're just doing the next thing, just to keep going. Now it's just I feel like I'm in limbo. I don't know if my cancer is gone. You know what I mean? So it's just it's always there on the back burner. So that mental part is hard. And,
I think for me that was the time when I felt the most alone and most depressed and most angry and most overwhelmed and most anxious, because like you said, when you're in treatment there's a whole team around you, right? You have the oncologist, you have all the doctors, your nurse navigator, everybody's there when you're pushing towards that you'll be done by this date and time. And then when it's done, everyone's like, oh my god, she's done, we're so happy you're a survivor. You're just literally just thrown out of the nest, right? And it is scary. You're on the right path and you have support and love here.
thanks. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So Kimberly, can you share with the viewers your story?
I was diagnosed April 20th of 2020, and I actually felt my mass in August of 2019. I just figured that if it's anything, they'll find it when I have my mammogram, because I was due to get that done. So I went in for the mammogram, had the test done. Probably about a week or so later, I received a letter from my gynecologist. There was a benign calcification that was noticed on the mammogram, but that it was okay to just have my next mammogram in a year. Well, 8 months went by. With COVID just beginning, I think that was the week or prior, everything was shutting down, offices were closed. And so the facility that I originally went to, I was going to just go back to them again because they had my information. They didn't answer the phone. I actually had to leave a message. So for me, I felt like that was a blessing in disguise. I was meant to go to where I had my treatment done. I reached out to another hospital that we have here local in the area and got the biopsy done 2 days after they called, and they told me that, my biopsy was back and that it did show cancer. And I immediately started crying. I didn't want to, get too loud because my children, they were sleeping and I didn't want to wake them and have them, nervous or scared or anything. My first question was, am I going to die? And she told me no. She said, there's so much that has evolved over, the time, and you're going to be in good hands. We're going to take care of you. And then she gave me a lot of more information that I don't even remember. And it's just so much information that you get. And so it's just, like Yahira said, it's boom, 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 you're moving, you're going. It's like you're programmed almost just to keep going. You're not worrying about anything but, okay, when is my next visit? When is my next test? Let's do surgery. How soon can we do surgery? I wanted this out of my body. I had to have an MRI because they couldn't determine the size of my tumor. My surgical doctor, she did not want to take the risk of doing a lumpectomy. So initially we knew, okay, a lumpectomy on that side, which was my left side, was going to be automatic. And so once we determined that, I was just all for, let's do a double mastectomy. After the mastectomy, I had tissue expanders placed in. So I ended up needing chemo. My cancer was progesterone and estrogen positive, so we knew that I was going to also need hormone therapy. I had a hysterectomy, but I still had my ovaries. So I knew that, okay, if it's hormone positive, I think I would like to find out if I can get this out. I wasn't sure. I just thought I would ask that question. And so after chemo, I did the deep flap reconstructive surgery. Then I had my ovaries removed because I was just trying to, for myself, lower my reoccurrence rate at all costs. I was willing to do whatever it could. And I was also going to have to take tamoxifen for about 10 years, my oncologist recommended. So I finished with that surgery, had phase 2 of February of last year, waiting on phase 3. But right now, I'm just really trying to get my body back to feeling like itself again. It may not be 100% like I used to be, but just to feel like myself again before I kind of want to, get put under the knife again.
Yeah, and you're here. And you're breathing. The thing that's the hardest is to feel safe in your body again, right? Your story is so important. People don't know the details that go behind breast cancer. They hear chemotherapy, surgery, radiation, and you're done. But there's so much detail that goes behind all those things, and behind all those things come a lot of trauma. Taking assessment of your life and how to detox is a big deal. Where did you start with your detox, your life journey, Yahira?
So it started with my body first of all. After every surgery that took place, because I had multiple and I still have more to go, I was just like, oh, my body's changed again. My body's changed. Even after chemo, my hair's gone. Like every single time it's changed. And every single time I had to pick myself up and try to learn and to appreciate and love my body. By the time I would finally feel like, okay, I'm comfortable with one of my flat side and one not flat side, I would have to get another surgery with another flat side, or I had no eyebrows, or like, you know what I mean? There was always something. That was really getting to me. Every single time I would have to like build my confidence back up. I knew I needed to see a therapist for that. So that's the first thing I did. I went saw a therapist. As time went by, I was like, yes, the therapist is good, but I also want to like not always talk about all the problems that I have. Like, I want to also acknowledge all the good things in my life. And that's where coaching came about. I started seeking out coaching. I started seeking out meditation, journaling, detoxing my brain. I had so much stress in my life, and that didn't help my body to heal, really, for a long time. I feel like I was immunocompromised because of the stress that I built in my life.
I think for me, many people who are watching, a balance it means, physical balance, emotional balance, spiritual balance and alignment, working out, what you're putting on your skin, on your hair. Your skin's your biggest organ. So if you're eating the healthiest food in the world and putting on poison on your skin, you're causing your body to be in dis-ease. If you're exercising and then putting in foods that have toxins in your mouth, your body will be in dis-ease. If your energy isn't aligned, you're causing your body to be in dis-ease. I wish they taught people in school, like kids, from being little, like how to stay in physical, mental, emotional, spiritual alignment. I want to go to Kim for a moment, talking about hair care products and skincare products. Black women, we love our hair and our skincare products. And there's so many toxins in this stuff, right? Because, I didn't know before cancer how many toxins are in products. I love my products. I mean, lotions, hair products, gels, makeup. It was the hardest thing after treatment to go through my makeup and all my stuff and throw things away. So have you thought about that or done that where you had to go through things and be like, well, this has that in there and that? Because you know what it's doing to your body over time, right?
It was never anything that crossed my mind up until now. So I'm really, whether it's, facial, so just trying to really stay away from as much as I can. I just try to not really harp on too much of, was it something that I did? Because I know for me, I would have taken that and I would have just eaten myself alive, just, with guilt. So I did take into consideration at the same time, taking accountability for the things that I eat, because I don't want to later on down the line increase my chances of any cancer re-affecting me later on down the line. So it definitely opens your eyes to making better choices, whether it's food or any healthcare necessities that you may need.
No, I feel like you're right. It's no one's fault they have cancer at all, ever. There have been twins that have had same treatment and had different outcomes, and siblings. So we don't know what causes cancer. What we know is that we know certain things can contribute to cancer. So I think, when you look at the aftermath of it, what's been important for many people who are patients is like, what can I control in my life, right? I can control whatever I'm eating. So for me, I began to experiment with raw veganism. Because I was like, well, if I'm eating, sugary stuff or eating things that have a lot of chemicals in there, my body's going to be less alkaline. It's going to have more inflammation. Cancer cells love sugar. So I kind of thought, like, how can I do what I can control to keep my body in the most, balanced, healthy state? And then I learned that when you eat green foods and plant-based foods, your energetic levels are higher because it aligns with your chakras and things like that. So eating healthy really helped me to take control of my life in that aspect, because with me being triple negative, I don't know what caused my cancer. And I never had treatment targeting the kind of cancer I had. So thankfully I'm 16 years cancer free, but I don't know what I don't know and never had treatment targeting. And so all I can do is control my diet, my meditation practice, my breathing practice. One of my friends, her mom is a health coach, and she came to my house and she literally went through my cabinets and like, I had bug spray. She's like, that's gotta go. I'm like, what if there's a bug, in the summertime? But she went through and she was like, look at the back of that. Look at the back of this. She taught me things I didn't know about before. Even things like, this is kind of really scary, but like the rugs can have Teflon-based products in there and your baby's going to be on that floor, your child or yourself. Even sometimes candles. So, we don't want to scare anybody. We're really talking about how to be educated about what you can control in your life. What about, your relationships, because that's something people don't talk about a lot, is that when you have had cancer, you change. And the people around you will say that you change, but you change because you've been through this crazy, horrible thing. But you learn to value your life more. So when you're talking about toxins in your life during and after cancer, there's the issue of like toxic people. And, we got to keep ourselves clear of anything that contribute to cancer or stimulate cancer or anything negative. For me, I just had people in my life, right? And then after I went through this experience and changed my life, I'm like, well, you know what? I have to clear out anything that's not giving me peace of mind. Whether it's my job, friendships, anything in my space, everything has to be high energy and peaceful. How do you deal with people in your life that you may care about or that come into your life, but you don't think are contributing to your peace? Kim.
When it's someone that you care about and that you're close to, of course you don't want to just dismiss them out of your life, but I think a conversation needs to be had to let them know if they are, causing you any stress or the reason for your stress. Just having that conversation with them, letting them know, because I had to do some of that myself when considering the level of stress that we experience on a day-to-day basis. I would say all the time, like, I am so stressed out, or, just anything. It could be work-related, home, kids. But when you're diagnosed with cancer and you are already fighting with your thoughts, like Yahira said, you have these toxic thoughts that you're already struggling with and fighting with. So you are focused on defeating that. I don't want to have to defeat anyone in my personal life as well, someone that's going to add to that. I just want peace. If you can't contribute to that, you may have to kind of push away from them a little bit. I've ended a relationship during my diagnosis because it was a form of stress. And I knew that I couldn't deal with that anymore. And cancer actually gave me that strength to be able to say, okay, I can't do this anymore, because you have a different outlook on life and what you really want to tolerate and deal with. And it becomes a little bit shorter, in what you really are going to tolerate once you have such a, traumatic event happen.
I was going to say, to piggyback that's exactly what I was going to say. It's just like your tolerance level changes so drastically when you're in cancer. It's just like, I am not dealing with anyone's ish, like no one. So I'll cut you off real quick just for my peace of mind. You know what I mean? For people that I do love, I do think it's important to just use the cancer card. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, I have cancer. I don't want to deal with this. And that's it.
You can help them grow too, right? I mean, I had friends who I had to stop, just say, here's how you're making me feel. So here's just a teachable moment. I love you, but here's what I'm feeling. You can choose to change that behavior. And if you do, that's great. It will be helpful to build our friendship. But if you can't, that's okay too. Your path is your own. I love you. But we don't have to be friends, like every day, like talking and texting. And people thought they're like, God, you're so cold. I'm like, no, I'm not cold. I almost freaking died. Like, I'm not playing right now, okay? I'm not playing that right now.
I did also want to mention about work. That was a huge thing for me.
Oh my God.
I didn't work for a long time, and I had to try to force myself to be okay with that, because I was such a workaholic before, and it was toxic. I felt toxic at work because that was stressful for me. Luckily, I had support, so I was able to step back from work for a while. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about that enough, about how, like, not being ready to get back to everyday life, because I was trying to get back to work during chemo, and then I was like, I can't do it. Then I tried going back during radiation, couldn't do it, like, full time. It was really tough for me. That stress alone, I didn't feel like was worth my health. So cancer also made me learn how to say no to a lot of things. That was one of them.
That's so true. I mean, I would work like 80, 90 hours a week. I'd worked a lot of hours. I did government contracting. I just got up one day and I was like, I just can't do this anymore. I'm living my life in a basement or in a proposal center or in a room. It was just like, what if I can't come in for a week because I'm tired and I'm nauseated? And I began to really put things in perspective, like how work can be toxic, and it was really scary for me, but I ended up getting to a point where the work was so stressful. And I just told my boss one day, I'm leaving. I'm going to begin my nonprofit called Tigerlily. And she's like, what's that? And I was scared, but I was like, do I want the toxins of stress in my life? Or do I want to take a leap of faith and then try something that my heart wants to do? And now I'm still here 16 years later. So, work is a really important factor. And we keep talking about stress. That's a huge toxin that we all live with and have to figure out how to minimize. And it's really hard. And I don't think it ever really ends. I have friends who are my age who lose somebody here, somebody there. For me, it's all the time. And so I can't always tell my family, because they're like, how do you live like that with people you lose all the time? And it's like, it's not a toxin, but it's a deep stress and a deep grieving and deep pain that you live with because you're living your life and you're moving forward, then you're losing people that you care about at the same time. And I feel like there's not enough space for us to discuss these things in real life because people don't want to hear about them. They only want to hear about the other stuff. So how do you get support when you have somebody you care about and they're metastatic or you lose the person? What do you do, Kim?
Definitely speaking with someone who has or is going through, the cancer journey, because my loved ones, as much as they want to be supportive, they don't understand. And it's easy for them to say, oh, that's not your story, or don't worry about that. But I am worried about that, because this is, something that I fought as well. And to lose a loved one is hard because in the back of our minds, we think reoccurrence. It's, you try to constantly fight that every day. I know for me, the majority of the time is, you see things on television. I never, saw so many cancer commercials until I was diagnosed, and I could have seen them, but I just didn't pay attention to them. And now I'm seeing them all the time. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll see something about metastatic, or someone that's passed. And I even wondered the same thing for you, being that with Tigerlily, I know you see, way more than, we could see. And I thought, how do you handle that and deal with that? I think when you surround yourself with the people that have received cancer treatment, they're done with cancer treatment, or they're going through, that's the best for me to talk to, because they understand, they know exactly, how you're feeling and what you're dealing with.
Yeah, they feel you. Thank you for sharing that. Yahira.
This one's a hard one for me to answer today because I had someone that passed away that I found out today.
Sorry.
Today we've all kind of rallied together to talk about, I would like to say her name. Her name's Angela Adams. She's actually a Tigerlily advocate herself. She just became one not too long ago. She passed away last night, and we've all just been texting, messaging all day, and that's the only thing that's been keeping me going. And it's true. I talk to those around me and they don't really quite understand because you haven't met her in person, but I'm but we've connected online multiple times. We've had multiple conversations. I feel like I know her, you know what I mean? So it really hit home for me today. This is my first one from my group that's passed away. It's really not easy.
I'm so sorry. No, don't apologize. This is a side people don't talk about and we hide, right? It's hard to lose people that you love and that you build community with, especially when the community is so rare, right? You come to this space to meet women that look like you, that you can connect with and love, and you're going through this together, then you lose them. My first friend that I lost to breast cancer, Krista Martinez, it literally broke me into a million pieces. I'll be honest, I didn't want to talk to anybody and deal with anybody around metastatic breast cancer I said, I can't do this. I cannot have this level of heartbreak. But, as she was dying, I promised her that I would carry her work forward. But I was too hurt by her loss to do that, right? And then I had to heal. So I had to take space to heal. Because I made a promise to God when I was in my cancer bed, right? And I said, if I have breath in life, I'm going to make sure that nobody else goes through these inequities or doesn't get support or doesn't get to share their story. And then I read a quote someplace that changed my life in many ways. It says, service is the rent we pay for a living. And I thought maybe by me not doing this work, somebody could die, or somebody could go through a period of being alone in their diagnosis, or have a doctor that doesn't really give them the right information, or may not hear my story and make a difference. And so I just took it on as a responsibility that as long as I'm living and breathing, I'm gonna do this work. But it's not easy, to be honest. I lost so many friends. I lost my dad. So for me, it's just, I have to find ways to nurture myself. So I do a lot of meditation, a lot of self-care, a lot of rest. And my body tells me when I have to stop. Because I do cry a lot. I cry because I lose people. I cry because I've seen an injustice someplace. that somebody got delayed and denied access to screening and then they come back and they're metastatic. Or somebody got pushed off because someone said to them in the doctor's office, you're fine, you're too young. And then they come back with bleeding nipples. And then they say, oh, you're stage 3 or 4. So I do cry a lot because I love people so much. But I feel like that is my Achilles heel, but it's also my strength. So I feel like it's my superpower, right? I think what we're learning, this episode's about different kinds of toxins. I think the worst toxin you can have in your life is not loving yourself and not giving yourself what you need. And so you asked me how I do it, Kim, is I just give myself a lots of love and I eradicate anything in my life that's not giving me peace and love. So whether it's my house or household products or people, energy, thoughts, I always say, is this energy giving me love? Is it going to fill me up? At the end of the day, you know, we have one life. We have this breath. We have this moment. And each of you has a beautiful, bright light inside of you that you and only you have to share with the world. And part of your job is to protect that light. Anything that can come around it that's dark, that's toxic. And keep the light beautiful and bright and shining, you know. Losing Angela, Yahira, it's your first time losing a friend. It is going to hurt badly. It will hurt. But what I can tell you that if you loved her, and you do love her, I can tell, you will cry, you will be angry, and then you will embody everything that she gave to you, and you will carry on because of her. And that's how we go forward every day. We love. We're love warriors.
Yeah, we are.
And love is our sword, right? Love is our sword. I want to thank you both for trusting me with your hearts and your feelings and your thoughts. I'm holding you both in prayer. Yahira, we're going to pray for Angela. Pray for her soul. And pray for all who love her. And pray that her legacy be carried forward, you know, in this world. So I want to take a moment to just honor her life and the beautiful light that she was and is. Thank you both so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Thanks for doing what you do as well.
Thank you. Much love, my sisters. And if you guys ever need anything, you know how to find us, how to find me. Keep being a bright light in the world. To those who are watching, our viewers, thank you for being with us. Thank you for your time, your love. Until next time, love yourself, love others, and bye for now.